When the spotlight fades and the noise quiets, what remains is rarely the legend, it is the person. At 73, Steven Seagal's life feels less like a straight climb to glory and more like a long, winding road marked by ambition, reinvention, and reflection. His journey mirrors the rhythm of fame itself, a sudden rise, sustained intensity, and an eventual softening into something quieter and more complex. The action hero image once filled movie screens worldwide, but time has reshaped both the man and the meaning of his legacy. Beyond box office numbers and headlines, his story invites a deeper look at how public success intersects with personal endurance. Fame amplifies achievement, but it also magnifies choices, contradictions, and consequences. Seagal's life reminds us that careers are not frozen at their peak moments. They continue evolving long after applause fades, shaped by resilience, adaptation, and the search for relevance in changing times. Roots of discipline. Steven Seagal was born in 1952 in Lansing, Michigan, before his family eventually settled in California. His early years were not defined by physical dominance or confidence. As a child, he struggled with asthma and fragility, experiences that quietly shaped his relationship with strength and control. Rather than retreat inward, he gravitated towards structure and discipline, discovering martial arts as a way to build both physical and mental resilience. This wasn't about spectacle or competition. It was about mastery and balance. The discipline appealed to something deeper than athletic ambition, offering a framework for focus and self-respect. These early encounters with adversity planted the seeds for a lifelong commitment to personal refinement. Long before cameras followed his movements, Seagal was learning that strength could be quiet, intentional, and internal. Those lessons would later define the stillness and precision that became his signature on screen. Aikido and identity. As a teenager, Seagal encountered Aikido, a martial art emphasizing harmony, control, and redirection rather than brute force. At the time, it was largely unknown in the United States, making his interest both unusual and isolating. Yet that unfamiliarity only deepened his commitment. Aikido aligned with his temperament, rewarding patience and awareness rather than aggression. Training demanded humility and repetition, lessons that resonated beyond the mat. For Seagal, Aikido became more than a skill. It became a personal philosophy. It shaped how he moved, how he carried himself, and eventually how audiences perceived him. Unlike flashier combat styles, Aikido's subtlety offered a visual calm that stood out later in his films. This early bond between identity and discipline set him apart from many aspiring performers, grounding his ambitions in something older, quieter, and more enduring than fame. Crossing cultures in Japan. In the early 1970s, Seagal made a bold and uncommon decision. He moved to Japan to deepen his martial arts training. For a young American, this was not just a physical journey, but a cultural immersion. Life in Japan demanded adaptability, respect, and patience, qualities that tested him daily. Over time, he earned credibility within the Aikido community and eventually became one of the first foreigners to operate an Aikido dojo there. This achievement was not symbolic. It reflected years of discipline and cultural sensitivity. Fluency in language and custom strengthened his standing, allowing him to navigate worlds few outsiders entered. These years shaped his worldview, instilling a deep appreciation for tradition and restraint. Long before Hollywood attention arrived, Seagal had already built a foundation rooted in cross-cultural understanding and earned respect rather than instant recognition. Fame and the public image. As his popularity grew, so did the blending of image and identity. Seagal's public persona became inseparable from his on-screen roles. Interviews, appearances, and stories reinforced the mystique of a disciplined martial artist with global perspective and spiritual curiosity. This carefully maintained image fascinated fans and media alike, yet with visibility came scrutiny. The more tightly an image is held, the harder it becomes to adjust when circumstances change. Seagal's commitment to authenticity sometimes blurred into expectation, placing pressure on him to always embody the figure audiences believed him to be. This duality between the private individual and the public symbol became a defining challenge. Fame amplified strengths, but also narrowed flexibility. The balance between myth and reality is delicate, and Seagal's career illustrates how difficult it can be to evolve while carrying the weight of a powerful, long-standing persona. Creative risk and reinvention. Rather than remain confined to one role, Seagal explored new creative paths. In 1994, he directed and starred in On Deadly Ground, a film that combined action with environmental themes. While reception was mixed, the project reflected a genuine desire to say something meaningful. Around the same time, he pursued music, releasing blues albums that revealed another side of his personality. These ventures were less about commercial success and more about expression. They showed a willingness to take risks, even when outcomes were uncertain. Not every experiment resonated, but each represented an effort to grow beyond established expectations. Reinvention is rarely seamless, especially for figures defined by a specific era. Still, these creative detours highlight an artist unwilling to stand still, choosing exploration over comfort, even as the industry around him began to change. Shifting industry tides. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Hollywood itself was transforming. Franchises, digital effects, and ensemble casts reshaped the action genre. The solitary martial arts hero was no longer central. For Seagal, this shift narrowed opportunities within mainstream cinema. While films like Exit Wounds and Half Past Dead found audiences, they lacked the cultural weight of his earlier work. Gradually, his projects moved towards smaller releases and direct-to-video formats. This transition wasn't unique to him, but it was significant. Careers built on a particular style often struggle when trends change. Yet even as visibility decreased, Seagal continued working, maintaining productivity rather than retreating. His persistence during this phase reflects a practical understanding of longevity. Relevance may fluctuate, but engagement and effort can continue long after peak moments pass. New mediums, new audiences. In 2009, Seagal embraced reality television with Steven Seagal, Lawman. The series followed his work as a reserve deputy sheriff, blending public service with martial arts philosophy. For some viewers, the show offered an intriguing look at discipline applied outside film. For others, it blurred entertainment and reality in unfamiliar ways. Regardless of reception, the decision demonstrated adaptability. When traditional roles diminished, Seagal sought connection through new formats. Reality television offered immediacy and presence, allowing him to engage audiences directly rather than through scripted characters. This phase of his career underscored an important truth about public life. Staying visible often requires reinvention. While opinions varied, the show reinforced his ongoing desire to remain active, relevant, and engaged with real-world challenges rather than relying solely on past cinematic success. Global identity and adaptation. As his American screen presence softened, Seagal's international profile expanded. He cultivated relationships abroad, particularly in Russia, where his martial arts reputation and public identity found new relevance. Participation in cultural and diplomatic initiatives allowed him to operate beyond entertainment. These roles reflected a strategic understanding of global influence and personal branding. When one arena narrows, another can open. His international engagements weren't about reclaiming old fame, but redefining purpose. They illustrated how public figures can adapt by aligning their skills and identity with new contexts. This chapter of his life highlights the complexity of modern celebrity, where borders are fluid and influence extends beyond film. It also underscores resilience, the willingness to evolve rather than disappear when familiar stages no longer offer space. Time, reflection, and legacy. Age inevitably reshapes even the most disciplined bodies. As Seagal grew older, physical limitations became visible, prompting adjustments in how he appeared and worked. These changes, rather than diminishing his story, humanize it. The legend gave way to the man, navigating time with pragmatism. At this stage, legacy becomes less about new achievements and more about reflection. His early films continue inspiring martial artists and action fans, while his broader journey offers lessons in adaptability. Seagal's life illustrates that success is not a single moment, but a continuum shaped by choices, persistence, and reinvention. When the spotlight fades, meaning doesn't vanish, it changes form. His story reminds us that beyond myth and memory lies a human path marked by effort, resilience, and the enduring search for purpose.